Yo, what's up, my friends? It's Steve from Straight Fire Picks. We got best bets for college football week number 5 on Saturday, September 30th, 2023. We're going to have spreads, player props, totals here for you today. We got 4 picks that make a great value bets for this Saturday college football slate. As always, we'd just like to thank you all for your continued support here on the channel. If you're new to the channel here today, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at Straight Fire Picks for more content, recaps, and things of that nature. Be sure to also check out our community Discord page as well. Absolutely free for that. You get access to the chat, more picks, and stuff of that nature as well. Be sure to also drop your favorite pick down below for Saturday's action. If you like your pick included in our comment capper section, just be sure to put a star or an asterisk next to your pick. I'll include your pick in the video if it hits. All right, speaking of our comment cappers from last week, we had Mike Peacock calling the Maryland Terrapins minus 7.5 spread. They ended up winning that game, I believe, by 22, so they covered that easily, so we'd love to see that. As far as the stream results, guys, it was terrible. We ended up going 1-4. I really can't create any good excuses for you guys. It was just not a good day. It was not our week, and very disappointing, and I got to be better. I mean, that's honestly all I can really say about it. When I go back and look at it, you know, Iowa plus 14.5 versus Penn State. Looked like they might have a shot early. It looked like they were playing them tough, and then they just, you know, slowly started falling apart until the wheels came off, and it was just awful, guys. Not a lot we could do there. And then we had the over 50.5 points in the Texas A&M Auburn game. It just, like I said, didn't end up working out for us. There was a touchdown early that was called back that was really disappointing. I thought maybe they could get us some momentum to get that bet, and unfortunately it just didn't get there. Then we had a couple underdog money lines, so we were taking a shot with Virginia Tech on the money line. They ended up making it a little bit interesting late, but couldn't get it done, obviously. And then we had UCLA on the money line. First play of the game, they throw a pick 6. I'm just like, it was just one of those days, guys, where it just wasn't working. We did cash Shedeur Sanders under 335.5 passing yards. Cashed it easily. You didn't even get half that. So that definitely made me feel good. At least we got the player prop. But like I said, we got to be better. We're vowing to be better. I lowered the amount of picks we're doing this week. We're doing 4 picks. So hopefully we can get some good momentum here going in college football. So let's get after it today, guys. Let's get a 4-0 sweep. Let's get right into our picks here. At number 1, we are going with the Syracuse Orange plus 6.5 spread here versus Clemson, guys. Minus 106 odds here on FanDuel. So guys, Syracuse, just like last year, was a great spread team. This season, 3-0-1 against the spread. Clemson 1-3 against the spread. Clemson has definitely underperformed if you guys have watched them so far this season. Their name, honestly, is a big reason why they get those big spreads, just like with Alabama, Oklahoma, any of those big schools. They get those big spreads in that respect for being a big program. And so far, honestly, Clemson has not lived up to it. They're 2-2 on the season. They had a home loss to Florida State, lost on the road at Duke, got absolutely smoked in that game, 28-7. So really, I don't think Clemson's really that great, guys. I think their defense is still solid, but they have quite big question marks at quarterback. They really have one good position player in Shipley. Outside of that, they're very hit and miss, right? And very inconsistent on the offensive side of the ball. In this particular matchup, guys, we've seen Syracuse and Clemson go head-to-head quite a bit here lately. 4 out of the last 6 meetings here have been decided by 6 points or less. So Syracuse has really upped their game over the last few years. We got Garrett Schrader, veteran quarterback here for Syracuse, who's been playing terrific so far this season. Syracuse is 4-0 on the year, including a road win, 35-20 at Purdue. So I like seeing that. Like I said, we talked about Clemson, guys. 2-2 losses to Duke and Florida State. Clemson 8th, Syracuse 15th in yards allowed per game. We're talking defensively here. Syracuse, though, 7th in scoring defense. Clemson 56th. So honestly, big discrepancy there. We're talking about Garrett Schrader, guys. He's got an 82.3 QBR because he can do both. He can run and he can throw. That is 16th best in all the nation, guys. So that's obviously very good. 972 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Check this out on the ground. 316 rushing yards, 6 rushing touchdowns. So he's very much a dual threat quarterback, been getting it done on both sides, which I like seeing that. Meanwhile, Kate Klubnik, 46.8 QBR. That's like almost half of what Schrader's is. So it just gives you an idea of the inconsistency, at the quarterback position. His stats, passing stats don't look that bad. 976 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks. But like I said, overall, just the inconsistency in this offense has certainly been there. And I think at the very least, I think Syracuse could keep this football game close. With Schrader leading this offense, I really like what he's doing at quarterback. I think they keep this close. And historically, like I said, Syracuse just has been outperforming the books for quite a while now and still not really getting the respect. Almost a full touchdown here. So love it there for our number one pick, guys. We're going with the Syracuse Orange plus 6.5 spread here versus the Clemson Tigers. Minus 106 odds here on FanDuel. Okay, and at number 2, we're locked in on Shedeur Sanders, guys. We're going Shedeur Sanders over 309.5 passing yards here for the Colorado Buffaloes. Minus 114 odds here on FanDuel. So, yeah, I like taking the over this week. This line dropped by almost 30 yards, and we're playing a much worse defense. Much worse than USC. Still no Travis Hunter for Colorado. That is, honestly, I don't love that, but I think Shedeur Sanders is going to have a little bit of a bounce-back game here. This Colorado offense will be better this week. They're going to have to be throwing the ball all game long, just like they did last week. And I think they'll have a lot more success, though. USC is nowhere near the defense that Oregon is. USC 70th in college football in passing yards allowed, 228 passing yards per game. And overall, like I said, they were one of the statistically worst defenses in all of college football last year. So far, they've been very sub-average again this year as well. Colorado coming back home. I'm expecting a better performance here from Colorado, especially being at home too. That'll also help get those players up and hopefully get them a little more motivated. Get that offensive line blocking a little bit better up front. We saw Oregon last week. A lot of reason why I like the under. Oregon is 9th versus the pass on the season. So that's why I think Shedeur struggled so much. I mean, this is, like I said, much different. I think Shedeur is going to have a great chance to go over. And the games he went over by a ton. 510 yards, 393, and 348. So clear on this line by quite a bit. I think we're getting great value here back at 309.5 on a line that was just 335.5 last week. And I think this value adjustment is definitely worth playing here versus a much weaker defense in USC. Now, USC has held quarterbacks under this mark in all 4 games, technically. But like I said, they haven't really played anybody that's got a prolific passing offense that Colorado does. So I think Sanders is going to have a great chance to hit this over. So, love it there for our number 2 pick, guys. Going Shedeur Sanders over 309.5 passing yards here for the Colorado Buffaloes. Minus 114 odds here on FanDuel. Okay, and at number 3, we are going with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Minus 14.5 spread here versus Mississippi State. Minus 110 odds here on DraftKings. So, guys, I actually watched Alabama and Ole Miss last week. And Alabama really struggled offensively for a lot of the game. Then the second half came around, and Milroe really started to get it rolling, and this running game started to come alive. And together in the second half, this offense was so much better. It looked like they finally found some footing, some tracking, which I think was significant. Milroe ended up with a pretty good line. 17 out of 21 throwing the ball, 225 yards and a touchdown, and an interception. McClellan on the running game for Alabama, 17 carries, 105 yards, and a touchdown. So like I said, in that second half, they really got it going and really won that game going away versus Ole Miss. I think they could carry that over here today. A lot of it for Milroe is getting that experience, getting comfortable in the offense. Looked a lot better last week. And honestly, they're not playing a very good Mississippi State team. Mississippi State right now 73rd in total offense, 58th in scoring offense, 89th in scoring defense, 93rd in total yards allowed. So they're in the back half, really, particularly defensively. They're not very good. But even offensively, they don't have enough to keep up, I think, with Alabama here. Alabama has a much better defense. And if you look at the history between these two teams, obviously Alabama's dominated. They're 12-3 last 15 meetings covering this 14.5 spread. 15-0 straight up on the money line. So they've absolutely dominated Mississippi State. I don't look for anything different really to happen here today. Mississippi State really isn't ready to hang with Alabama. Even an Alabama team that isn't quite as good as years past. Alabama here defensively, 30th in yards allowed, 17th in scoring defense, so they're still very good defensively. Offensively, a little different. They're 88th in total yards, 60th in scoring offense. So, like I said, a lot of that had to do, they played South Florida, and their offense looked like crap. Most of the first half last week, they looked like crap, and then they started getting it going in the second half last week, which I like seeing that. And, when you finally start seeing that chemistry and that stuff coming together, that's why I like to hop on board, honestly. And this is a pretty light spread for an Alabama team that I think is much, much better than Mississippi State. So, love it there for our number 3 pick, guys. We're going Alabama Crimson Tide, minus 14.5 spread here versus Mississippi State, minus 110 odds here on DraftKings. Okay, guys, and finally at number 4, We are rolling with the over 52.5 points here between the Virginia Cavaliers and Boston College. Minus 110 odds here on FanDuel. So, guys, we got two pretty bad defenses here. Two really bad defenses. Virginia here, guys, allowing 37.8 points per game. That's 124th in the nation. That's right near the very bottom. Very bad. Also 109th in total yards allowed, while Boston College is 108th in total yards allowed. So both of these defenses get absolutely gashed. Boston College 118th in points allowed, 35.6 points per game. You put both those two together, you got over 73 points there between the two that they've allowed per game. So definitely will take my shot here. I like Boston College's offense, honestly, with Castellanos. I think we saw them really kind of come out versus Florida State a couple weeks ago, and were very competitive with Florida State. Almost won that game. Obviously, the over hit in that game. I think we could see, very good offensive output from them. And here, even though they're 74th in scoring offense, which is close to middle of the pack, 28 points per game. They're 62nd in total yards, which honestly isn't too bad either. Virginia is just kind of bad on both sides. They're 104th in yards, 112th in scoring offense, but I think they could still get it done versus a very bad Boston College defense. I think 52.5 is just a very light number for two defenses like this. Two defenses that really haven't played a lick of defense all season. It's like paper. I would expect this line to be up in more of the higher 50s, but I think this over could definitely easily hit. So, love it there for our number 4 pick, guys. Going over 52.5 points here in the Virginia-Boston College game. Minus 110 odds here on FanDuel. All right, guys, that's going to do it for our picks. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of your guys' support. Like I said, we need to get on a roll here in college football. NFL is finally starting to go the right direction for us right now, so hopefully we get college football going that way as well. It gets a little bit easier as we get more data and more stuff you can look at. You can really figure out who these teams are. We're finally starting to get that way in the NFL. Hopefully college football follows suit. We'll definitely love to see at least a 3-1 day. Hopefully a 4-0 sweep, though. That'd be outstanding. So, appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And that'll do it for us. You guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out.